What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I have a really cool guest. What she does is very aligned with what I believe in. Please welcome Kourtney Thomas. She is a mindset coach. She's also into fitness as well. You know, that's where my love is at. But Kourtney, thank you for joining us today. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here. So, I like to say in a nutshell, I help women find their inner Dolly Parton. So really that's all about, helping women to see themselves so they can trust themselves in all the decisions that they're making for their bodies, their lives, and their businesses. So kind of all came to fruition throughout my time in about the last 10 years or so, where I actually started pretty specifically strictly in fitness. I started off as a personal trainer and worked for a year and a half or so in a facility before I started my own business, but that's been about 8+ years now. And in the beginning, I was doing in-home training and online way back before online was actually a thing and everybody was doing it. So I've been doing it forever in that sense of the word, but over the years, really spending time with women in their homes and getting really close to them, getting personal, getting to know, their lives and their partners and their families and their kids and their dogs and, all of this kind of stuff. Really what went from being just, I'm here to do this service of, doing your workout programming and leading you through, a strength training workout or whatever it is, it became way more about there's a lot going on here and there are a lot of layers to whole person well-being. So really over the years, I just started doing more coaching and really my clients started to reflect back to me too that, they were like, don't get me wrong. I still want you to come over and take me through a workout. That's awesome. And I love it. But also what we're talking about in these conversations we're having, the resources that you're giving me, this is just totally changing my perspective. And so I started to lean into that coaching side a bit more. And now I'm kind of in this beautiful space of working with a lot of women in, maybe it's career transformations or, just kind of general confidence stuff and really getting to know more about themselves. And the fitness has kind of transitioned more into body image work, really of, helping women to feel more comfortable in their skin and how that connects with movement and everything else in life.
That's amazing. So, I mean, I resonate with what you do completely. I became a certified life coach and I was a personal trainer myself, but I can't take on clients. I'm too much of an empath, whereas I get too invested, and if they don't do well, then I don't do well. It starts becoming a problem. So I decided unless they're a friend or a family member, I just can't do that. My energy is way too sensitive. But so what you do and being consistent and being able to grow your clientele over the last 8 years is just amazing. Because I can't do it. I can't. I just can't. But
it's funny because that nugget right there is actually very much what I become known for, that I go really deeply into relationship with my clients. I always said in the fitness industry, there's kind of this thing that's this isn't about you. And it's not about a relationship with your client. It's about you being technical and getting them results and all this stuff. And I always was it's literally in the title of the job, personal trainer. It's a personal relationship with people. You have to see them as a whole person in order to help them get the results that they want and need. Right. Totally. I actually dive pretty deeply into that relationship. And, so one-on-one is my jam. It's funny. I'm sure you're, kind of familiar with this too. All coaches are different, right? And some people are I can't handle one-on-one, and I'm oh, send me all your one-on-one clients then, because that's my jam,
Yeah. No, it's good for you. And thank you for what you do. I wish I could, because I get asked all the time, but it's just, it's too much for me. My energy just is I can't. And there's probably there's a way for me to put those boundaries up, but I care too much. And it just, I don't know. And it's all good. So it's more clients for you. So what? And I totally agree with you in regards to the coaching part, the personal training, personal coach. I think that the mindset, and maybe, I don't know, you can tell me what you think, but I feel like the mindset comes first before the body image, the personal training. If you can't get this right, then you could do all this all day, and and you're going to do something to counterbalance that, like your diet, not enough sleep, stress. So tell me about your journey, and kind of how you handle your clients in that, putting the mindset first.
Oh, I mean, you nailed it, right? Like that's the number one thing. And whether I'm working with a client kind of on that, like, business and career side of things, or whether it is, kind of fitness and body image related, really, like, what it comes down to is starting with them, right? Like that's why, like, if you go to my LinkedIn profile or whatever, like, I call myself a self-discovery coach, because like, that's what it is, right? Like, we get so covered up in all these layers of people telling us what to do. So we have no idea what it is that we want, who we really are, what matters to us, what our values are, not what we think our values should be. Like, so that's the place that I start with people, not like, oh, I have this problem and I need you to help me like find the formula and take the steps to do the thing. Because like, they've tried all of that. So the approach, like you said, is before anything, it's the mindset stuff. It's learning about yourself. And then it's figuring out like, oh, okay, maybe there's some element of, well, I've tried this before. And then we talk about, okay, what worked and what didn't, like, and then we can kind of figure out a little bit more about why and what you can use to, move forward into the being and doing the things that you want to be and do, right? Like, but so much of it is rooted in like getting to know ourselves better versus like the world telling us what we want to be, I mean,
Hence the label-free podcast.
I was going to say, this is like such a huge reason why I was so attracted to talking to you. Cause I was like, yes, like that's exactly it. Like, everybody's trying to shove themselves into these little boxes because that's what, we're told that we should do. But there's a reason why, again, fitness is the example. Like, there's a reason why XYZ workout, you stick to it for 3 or 6 or 10 weeks, doesn't matter, but it doesn't last a lifetime because like something's missing, something's not connected. You're not seeing some part of yourself or some part of your life, like it's interesting, but it always starts with that stuff first versus me saying, okay, well, I think you could follow this plan. Like, that's not helpful.
Yeah, no, it's really not, because if someone doesn't have a plan to follow when they're done with it, then they're just going to get back into their same old routine, same old habits, and they're going to find themselves in the same spot because they really didn't deal with the issue of what's preventing them from making that lifestyle or that mindset change or shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, I mean, and it's a journey that we're on, right? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And as we're going through our journey, whoever you might be, like myself, we're going to experience different things, different maybe traumas. I mean, I've been through a lot myself, and that's going to throw us off, wherever we might be in life. Or, there are people that have led that straight and narrow, like, I'm Susie Cream Cheese, I do nothing wrong, like, and they have no clue who they are, and they just keep going through the motions and just are an empty person, like just a shell of a human being. And it's just like, like, that's no way to live, that is no way to live. So
I totally agree with you. Like, I mean, I am always encouraging my clients to like really, again, it's like you said, like so many, I don't want to say so many or most people or whatever, but a lot of people that I end up kind of attracting and working with, like, they are a little bit kind of lost or have lost touch with who they really are, so it is like you said, like they had to figure that out all over again for where they are at this point in the journey. And I'm always encouraging people, like, richness, depth, like get more of that. Don't worry about the straight and narrow, like worry about what is going to make your life count, because we don't know how long that life is, right? Like, so make it count today. What is that? Don't worry about all the rest.
Oh gosh, totally agree. So you say, I loved your quote here: find out who you are and do it on purpose, by Dolly Parton. This is on your website about you. You say every time you see her, you smile and then you cry. And I actually kind of agree with you here. There's something just so strong and so pure about her, and you can't help but be captivated. She is unapologetically herself.
Yep.
And just, even with some of the surgeries she's had and all that, it just, she is who she is, and she lives like how she wants to live. And I totally love that about her as well. So do you work with mostly women? Is that mainly your target client base?
I do. And, I have worked with some like gender nonconforming folks through the years as well. But it's mostly that in women. And it's not that I'm like limited that I wouldn't work with men, but it's kind of just one of those things where sometimes again, and like as deep as I tend to go in relationship and partnership with my coaching clients, like it just tends to kind of lend itself to more of an openness where, the women that I work with, they relate to me. They kind of see something that's like, okay, I can kind of let down my guard a little bit.
Yeah.
And, there's a trust factor there. And not that I couldn't get that with, someone who identifies as male or, whatever else. I just am always kind of like, not exactly sure that we have enough shared experience that I can help,
That's your niche though. But
yeah.
Ironically enough, I do have to do my little commercial as my dog is barking and saying hello to neighbors outside. Support for Label Free Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers, but ladies, you can do it too, or anyone out there. It's not limited. We are all inclusive here. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Huge number, huge. Come on, ladies, we can get on that action. We have an exclusive offer for my listeners, 20% off plus free shipping using labelfree20 at manscaped.com. Hey, and it's really cool too. Like the all their stuff, like, I mean, some of the grooming stuff, like we can use it. Like, I mean, I can. I don't know.
I was gonna say, why not? Like at the end of the day, it's a razor or a whatever. Like, I mean, it's just a different color with a different name.
It's black. It's upstairs. I usually show it, but I've been doing a little video with my producer in the middle. So whatever. Anyways, let's get back to the business. So yeah, your client base you attract more of a women clientele, which is fine. I think we all have our niche, and that's your niche. And if that's what's working, I mean, there's a reason for that. You're helping them find their inner Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say her last name right? I don't know what's my deal.
You're good.
So let's walk through that. So when you take on a client, do they do like, how does that work? They do an initial consultation with you? Like, can you talk to us like what that looks like?
Yeah. So I am like really open kind of in that process of things. Like I always invite people into just an initial kind of quick conversation to see if that's a match, if it's a fit, if we make sense, So like I'll do a free call with people to just kind of see where they're at and, like I said, whether it's a fit to work together. And then, when we do start coaching, my process is kind of unique and probably a little bit out there, away from a lot of other coaches. So a lot of the work that I do is actually through guided journaling worksheets. I call them reflection worksheets.
Okay, cool.
So we set up like a shared Dropbox to where I add these worksheets. They do them on their own. And like I said, it's essentially guided journaling, but it's like really thick stuff. But what's interesting is that it allows clients to really go there, to like go deep, to go where they need to go. But it's not as awkward as like you and I sitting here and I'm like staring into your face, asking you like a really, really like scary question
awkward.
I've never thought about before and like making you answer on the spot.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that's hard to do because you need a little time to process or you're like a little too vulnerable or whatever. So we do a lot of work in that journaling in the worksheets. And then I actually go through and I do like written coaching through that. So they are going to get feedback. Like they know I'm going to see it, but there's like not as much pressure as doing a one-on-one live session. So we do a lot of work through that. I have ongoing, like you basically get unlimited access to me, for kind of accountability or check-ins throughout the week. And then we do a once a month call, which then typically is like, okay, you've gone through this stuff in your worksheet. Like I'm seeing some themes or, what's coming up for you that you discovered that you want to talk about more, where we can do that in conversation. So that's kind of the process. And we always start with 3 months. And I have some clients who are like, okay, like that was a lot. I have plenty to work with. I want to see, what I can put into practice on my own, that kind of a thing. Some clients kind of keep going, some clients do 3 months and then they come back next year, so like you said, it's a journey.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any like a common denominator with with your clients that you find?
You know what's so funny? Like I have like thought and like gathered data and like all of the things over the years, because you know, on the marketing side of things, I'm sure you're familiar. It's always kind of like, what's your, you know, what's your niche or your avatar or
Yeah,
your
your
problem that
target demographic.
ever. And I hate all that framework because I'm like, listen, humans are not problems to be solved. So
Yeah.
like this is not realistic for me. The thing that I have really kind of come down to is nothing more than like it's a woman figuring things out
I'm
and
sorry, say that again. We had a little, it was
figuring things out.
yeah. Okay.
So it might just be like, it might actually be, and I get this a lot to where sometimes people are like, listen, I did a Google search and I didn't even know what I was searching for, but like your website came up and it really seemed just like, this is what I was looking for. And I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And it just seems like, you know, you've been through it. You can help me. I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. And a lot of times it's like, I don't actually even know what I'm trying to figure out. I don't actually know what's going on, but it feels like you can help me get to the bottom of this.
Wow.
So it's
Very,
just this,
so from a very
figuring it out.
intuitive place.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah.
So so you really, that's awesome. You connect, so women are drawn to you like that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty great. It can be challenging on the side of things, you know, for that like kind of marketing sales side of things. It's not like a really catchy thing, you know, because I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, this is choose your own adventure coaching. Like if you know you're looking for someone outside of yourself to help, like if a lot of my clients are really into personal development and, you know, they're already doing this type of work. They might have worked with different coaches. They might be reading a lot of books, but like a lot of times they're at the point to where they're like, okay, but none of that's helping. Like, I really need somebody to do this with me and hold me accountable and make it more personal. So is it, you know, but everybody gets a different experience because we build it to what they need. And that's, you know, that's harder to like put a pin in and to make it shiny.
Yeah. So do you offer does the fitness come with the coaching with that as well?
It's like a little bit separate. So I kind of do have the side of things where it is like, I refer to it as choose your own adventure coaching, right? Because again, it can be like career stuff. Sometimes it's general mindset, confidence, just kind of life stuff. And then on the fitness side of things, it is definitely more, you know, kind of figuring out what fitness looks like for you, more kind of body confidence, body acceptance work. And I do have a little bit more structured program for that. I'm really, really limited on accepting like fitness programming clients anymore, like any personal training clients. That's like super limited. So it's more the body image work, but that like I have a really cool program. It's called Fitness Unraveled with that kind of walks through basically all the mindset stuff that we've talked about, but then kind of adds this element of like, okay, but like, then let's figure out what actually works for you. Like, what do you want to do to create your healthy lifestyle?
I love it. So you're solving the problem first. That's awesome. Before we start wrapping things up, Courtney, where can people find you? Can you drop all your links? They want to reach out to you, work with you, all that good stuff.
Yeah. The best, like first and foremost place is literally direct to my website. It's CourtneyThomas.com, Courtney with a K. You can schedule the free call there. I'm super accessible on email. You actually get to me. I don't even have an assistant. Signing up for my email list is a pretty big one. I share really a lot of information and resources there, which again, obviously you can do on my website. I'm not really on social media anymore. So LinkedIn is great too. I am there. I connect professionally that way a lot, but pretty much like my website is the jam. I share a lot there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a guest. Are there any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to leave for the audience?
You know, I think I would just really encourage people to start with you. You know, don't look outside yourself for all the answers. You have them. Find a way to find them and trust yourself.
Woo! That was a good one. Oh, I like that a lot. That might have to be the title of the episode. Woo, yes, I love it. I love talking to coaches. It's so good. All right, you guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.